Hello everyone, it's me, Einstein, NYSE Einstein from the Florida New York Stock Exchange. September, I don't know, 27th or something. Seems a little bit, maybe at 28th. Getting into the end of the quarter, end of the month. We're coming into the beginning of the fourth quarter. It's going to be fascinating. It's going to be a wild and crazy year. It's going to be a fourth quarter, end of year with interest rate raises, with tax reform, with President Trump, with North Korea. This market never disappoints. We don't know what's going to happen every day, every minute. Today was a fascinating example of that. Market closed up 56 points. We opened at a nice high. We opened up about 80 points on a lot of financial boost over hope and wishes about tax reform proposed by the White House. But what ended up happening was we hit our head up against a brick wall there, because we retraced a rally into a Dow and S&P all-time high, and that caused sort of a resistance, and we sold off. That in conjunction with some chatter about taxes from the White House, about the fact that the rich were not going to benefit from this tax bill, kind of put a damper on it, because think about it, you know, who's buying this market? Why is this market up 4,000 points? The market is up because people who have money in the market have been betting on this rally, whether it's banks, institutions, individuals of high wealth who are hoping that there's going to, and corporations, that we're going to lower corporate taxes, we're going to repatriate a lot of foreign money, we're going to have tax reform, that the alternative tax bill and the allowance for deductions and all these things that basically are benefiting middle to the upper class people. How are lower class people going to benefit from this? I'm not really sure, but I really believe that this market's been fueled by people who have a little more money, who have been buying this market with this dream involved. So midday, there was some chatter and some headlines coming out of Washington that this tax reform is not going to benefit the rich. Market sold off. That, in conjunction with it hitting sort of a double top and hitting resistance, made the market sell off. If you look at the graph behind me, you can't see it, but the market did sell off from up 100 to down 10. It sort of dwindled there for a little while. It didn't really have that much direction. But the rest of the day, basically, the market was driven by headlines coming out of tax reform. Mr. Trump came on near the end of the day and talked about it. There was a midday rally around 1:45 talking about, you know, making some clarity. This tax reform has been on the table since before the election. The promise of it's been on the table since the election, since he won the election. But there's been no clarity. Clarity is what markets love. Otherwise, we're being run by headlines that can change on a minute's notice. Market could be up 100, then down 10, and then rally up to 100 on headlines. On a market that's thin and volatile, minimum liquidity, on a holiday week for the Jews. Market rallied back on some Trump statements that, you know, it's a matter of perception. How are you looking at these things? At the end of the day, they started unwinding the information and clarity about the tax reform. They're lowering corporate rates from 30 to 20. That's a good thing. The alternative tax rule, which is when you make over $100,000 a year, your brackets change and there's some different tax businesses. Look, tax stuff is out of my wheelhouse. That's why I have an accountant. I don't really like to get that involved in it. But net, at the end of the day, whatever clarity they did give us about deductions, family deductions can go from $12,000 to $24,000. Corporate rates are going from 30 to 20. There's a lot of other hairy, fuzzy stuff around the table on this thing. Net, at the end of the day, the market liked what they heard. Whether it's really going to happen, how much clarity we got, I'm not clear. Market closed up 60 or 22,340, still trading in that upper bracket of what's the higher end of the range in a big way. Russell up actually quite 2%. That's a huge rally. That's the small caps. The S&P up 10. So actually the S&P and the Russell are up way more than the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Oil up an odd lot, and gold got eviscerated, down 16 points again. So it's a flight to safety on the news of and the hope about taxes, tax reform, tax repatriation. And that's what you got. Coming into the end of the week, hump day, Wednesday, Thursday and Friday, end of the quarter. We should see some rebounds, there should be some activity, should see some volatility. I look forward to it. Stick with Einstein, stick with the NYSE. Giddy up on that, I love you.